Hey guys, Dirty Keto Grandma here. Happy Monday. Happy Mental Health Monday. Checking in on this Monday from Canal Fulton. I'm on a trail out here. Canal Fulton's about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. More like 10. Kind of northwest of where I stay in Canton. Anyways, I have taken a mental health day off of work, and this was pre-planned. I already talked to my boss about this. Today is Monday, November 15th, and it is my mother's birthday today. And that's a rough day for me. Been crying all morning, and I thought I'll come do this video because I pretty much cried all like a frickin' cry today. So let me isn't it beautiful out here? I came out here because my mom absolutely loved this time of year. Not gonna cry. Yeah, my mom loved the fall. Her birthday was November 15th, so she is a Scorpio, and she loved the fall time, man. She loved like a good Halloween party. But I came out here because I needed to walk. I slacked last week on my workouts. I didn't eat anything bad or anything, but I was slacking. You know, it was a rough week. October, November, December, January, they're just rough months for me. It's rough all the time. Anyways, I thought we would talk about mental health and dealing with like death and grieving and mourning. And, you know, our mental health is just as important as our physical health. I think I'm going to go over here. There's a railroad. I kind of want to pop a squat and be able to sit down and talk for a second. And it's pretty quiet out here to where if there was a train coming, I would hear it. So I'm going to come right over here, pop a squat on this railroad tie, just so I can sit down and we can talk. But yeah, mental health. Ooh, it's definitely just as important as your physical health. And you know, when someone dies, or not even somebody, you know, a pet or something goes away, something you're used to having in your life every day goes away, there's a mourning and a grieving process. Now, when it's somebody like a death and it's someone very important to you that is in your life every day, they serve a purpose. They bring you joy and happiness. They help you with all kinds of stuff, just whether it's just being there or actually physically, mentally, emotionally helping you. But so I want to talk a little bit about death. Even though it is my mom's birthday today, it is a little chill out here, but it feels great. Yeah, my mom was born in 1950. You know, I was going to make this whole thing about like my mom because it's her day today, it's her birthday, but I want to really just talk about mental health and death and grieving and losing someone and how it helps you and doesn't help you. It's just rough. It's a whole emotional, mental thing that everybody has to deal with, man. We all know that in life, death is guaranteed. Anything that is living and thriving, just like all these trees around us, they're all dying right now. That's what they do. They die. Everything that lives is going to die. And even though we know that that comes, it's inevitable. What is living will die. Now, granted, these trees will be reborn. They'll come back to life and live again. But when we bury somebody and have to mourn the loss, and like we know that with life comes death, whether it's naturally and they die at 95 or 100 and lived a full life, or it's tragic and they're taking from us too soon, we know it's coming, But yet we still, I mean, it rocks us to our core when it comes, man. Now, before my mom was the last death that like brought me to my knees, like rocked, my world came to a complete stop. It rocked me to my core. That was 23 years ago in October, last month, 23 years ago. That was the last one that rocked me like that. I buried many of people since then in the last 23 years, but not that got me like that. Whew. And that wasn't the first one. Now, just to give you a little rundown on like death with me. Now, when I was a young kid, now my mom and dad were hippies, so we up and moved to California, and like I was what, two and a half, pushing 3. I was born in 73, so we moved to California in 75. My grandpa, my dad's dad, Carl Osterloh, he got sick and he ended up passing, I think, in 78. So I was 5. And we had flown back here from California when I was 5, and he was sick. He was still alive. My grandmother, Mary Osterloh, God rest her soul. What a saint of a woman. I mean, took care of him and many of others of our family members that died in that house on Little Avenue, 1884 Little Avenue. Unfortunately, the house has been torn down now, but my grandpa tore that house down. Look, the first death I really knew about as a young kid was my grandpa, Carl. He died in 78. We flew back here, me and my brother, on a plane and visited him because my grandma had set up that dining room and he was in like a hospital bed. He was still like joking and laughing and stuff. I have a few memories of him, but he passed that same year after the winter, I think, or I think there was a big blizzard that year too in 78. Anyways, I was 5, but I was so little that I didn't like really know, you know what I mean? Then that was 78. And then my grandma, Mary Osterloh, same house, same grandparents, my dad's, she passed in 88. We were still out in California, living out there. When she passed away, my dad flew back here for the funeral. And that's when we decided to move back here to California in 88. 2 years later, almost 2 years later, my brother was killed by a drunk driver. And I was 17 and he was 20, getting ready to turn 21. It was in May of 1990. My brother was born in 69. It was the month before he turned 21. He was 20, out drinking with friends of his. The driver was a friend of his, and the driver not only killed my brother, but killed his own son that was in the back seat of the same car. And yeah, that was, like, the bond you have with a sibling is like, that's no other bond, man. You grew up in a household with this kid, like, yeah, you just don't, it's not like my brother was my best friend. I mean, we hated each other when we were really, really, really little and fought and argued all the time. And then we got super duper close as teenagers. And then he was ripped. Yeah, that one took me to my knees, to the core, and my mom and dad. To have to watch my mom and dad bury their firstborn son. My mom went off the deep end. Now this comes to an issue of like how people deal with grief and mourning and how you process things. My mom went off the deep end for like 2 years. I was 17, 18, 19. Yeah, about 2 years. From the time I was 17 to 19, my mom was like self-medicating, drinking, pills, anything. I mean, snorting, whatever she could do to numb the pain, man. She had to bury her firstborn son. I can't even imagine. If I had to bury a child, I can't even. There's no words for that, man. When you bury a spouse, you're a widow or a widower. When you have to bury a child, there is nothing, there's no words for that. There's no label for that. There's nothing, I mean, I can't. But she went off the deep end for like 2 years. And my dad pretty much kept it together for both of them as far as like managing our lives, paying our bills. I'm sure he was grieving and going through his own process of all this too. And so was I, and burying my brother and my best friend. And I did, I was right along there with my mom. We were just all acting like we were partying and having a good time every weekend and self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. And being promiscuous and sexual. I mean, and high school was just like, I don't even remember my senior year of high school at all. I mean, yeah, it was just a lot to process. So that was the two major ones for me. My brother, and that was in 90. And then 8 years later, when I was 25 and had two small children, Elizabeth was 4 and Sissy was 2. She passed in October, so they were getting ready to turn 5 and 3. But yeah, just out of nowhere, dropped dead in the middle of the night in the bathroom on 1884 Little Avenue in my grandparents' house. Well, she didn't die at the house. She was still breathing when they got to her in the bathroom, but yeah, she fell over in the bathroom one night. Didn't even know she was sick or heart disease she'd had for years, so it was probably like a massive heart attack. And had passed away by the time I got to the hospital. My mom and dad had been together since they were 15 years old. My mom was 46. Yeah, that was one that like really, like, my life completely stopped at that moment. I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to raise these two young girls. And my dad, like, come on, man. He'd already buried like over half his family, his firstborn child, now his wife, like, but I'll tell you what, man. When you're left to deal with something like that, like, it really makes you stop and think about life and how long you have here. Or should I say how long you don't have. You have a limited time here. And in that limited time, you really have to try to make the best of it. And let me tell you what, man, I'm not one to like preach that everything's okay and life's a bowl of cherries and yada yada, because it's really not all the time. It's not. I still get sad and depressed. Days like today, I usually just, like, I haven't taken off a day's work to celebrate my mom's birthday, and I don't even think I ever actually took it off, because it's easier for some of us to just go to work, put our heads down, ignore what's going on in our heads, and replace it with other things so that we just don't think about it and block it out. And as much as I cried and cried today and listened to my music that she loved, even stuff I normally would not listen to, like Patsy Cline and old Bob Seger. And well, I do love me some Bob Seger. Maybe it's the beard, but yeah, mama. I love listening to stuff that reminds me of my mom, and it makes me happy and cry all at the same time. It's okay to happy cry. But back to time, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to click on this video and even check it out. Because you know what? I think everybody, in honest reality, everybody deals with mental health issues. They may not be mental health problems, or they may not suffer from them, but we all have mental health or emotional health issues that we have to deal with every day. Let me make sure, like, no one's creeping up on me here. I'm going to pop a squat here real quick because I want to read you something before I wrap up this video. We're getting close to 15 minutes here. In my little journal here that I have, the Think Happy Thoughts, a poem came across to me yesterday about time, and I've just been like I said, this whole month, October, is just like super emotional for me. And yeah, I mean, I miss my mom, man. I loved her more than anything. She was my best friend in the whole wide world. But here she is. That's my mom. Hey, sometimes you gotta have a good cry. Get it out. Sometimes it's super cathartic, man. I want to read you this poem. It came from a group. Again, these things just keep coming to me. I don't even ask for them, but it's like whenever I need to hear something or I need some kind of inspiration, it comes to me. Here this one is. It's perspective. It comes from this page on Facebook called Higher Perspective. If you want to check it out, they send you like daily things. And this was the perspective of the day yesterday for November 14th, the day before my mom's birthday. And it says, every day you have an important choice to make, whether to cherish or to waste the valuable lessons, the most valuable blessing that you have, time. Today you have the choice to spend it wisely, appreciating every moment of your life, loving the people that love you, and focusing on all the good that you have. Find what makes you happy. Find people who make you happy and make you smile. Find hobbies that make you feel joy. Today is your new chance to take control of your happiness. And anytime that I get down like this and sad and I think, God, I just wish my mom was here, man. I wish I had just 5 more minutes. I'd give anything. Or I get so sad and depressed that I think, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be with her and I want to be with my brother. And something like that comes across and reminds me that I am living on borrowed time. I'm still here on this planet to enjoy my grandson and my children, which are now young adults, living their lives and creating their own memories with their children now. And I'm the grandma now, and I get to be the grandma in the fun time and the, go to the park and get the ice cream and have fun, and I get to do all that stuff. I still wish my mom could have been here and seen her great-grandson, because he's just the best gosh darn kid in the whole frickin' world. I know I'm kind of biased because he's my grandson, but oh, she'd have just loved him, man. We hadn't had a little boy running around like that in a long time since my brother, man, and I think she would have really got a kick out of him. Just like I do. And I just have to keep that in mind. Anytime I find myself in a dark place, and I just think to myself, you know what? It's going to get better. It's going to get better. The dark places that bring you down and are unhappy places that make you sad and wonder, like, what's this all about? Why? Like, what's the purpose? The purpose is to just make the very best out of what you have while you're here. And it's going to come with hardships and hard times and deaths and sorrow and grief and mourning. And I looked up grief and I looked up mourning, and they're pretty much the same exact definition. It's when you devote a little bit of time or a lot of time or just a little bit of your time here and there to take a time to think about and grieve and mourn the loss of someone or something that's no longer in your life. And that's okay and that's healthy. Just don't stay there. Don't wallow in the sadness. Find the happiness in the sadness. So I've cried all day today. I just ate lunch, so it's probably about 1 o'clock now. I've cried over half the day. The rest of the day, I'm going to laugh and enjoy and think about all the things that I loved about my mom that cracked me up. All the things that we used to joke and laugh about, and all the things that just made us laugh. I might even go home and watch a couple movies that I know she really loved and that me and her would sit and watch together and have a good cry, like Terms of Endearment. Such a good mother-daughter story. And like, you know what? Again, I'm done crying for the day. I miss you, Mom. I love you. And we will meet again one day. What keeps me warm and comfort inside is that she is with her loved ones and my brother and everybody that's not with us anymore. I believe that they're all together. I may not be a religious person, but I do believe in spirituality. And I believe that she's out there somewhere with the other spirits, my brother and everybody else that she loves and is no longer here on this planet. We'll all be together one day. Look, take care of yourselves mentally and physically and emotionally. Take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. Love one another. If you related to this video at all, hit the little thumbs up. If you want to chit chat anytime, comment down below. Seriously, you can reach out to me here or on any of my other social medias. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they don't have someone to talk to. I'll listen. I do flap my lips a lot and ramble, but if you need me to shut up, you can be like, look. And I'll shut up and just listen. Honestly, guys, thanks again for taking the time out of your day to take a look at this video. I really do appreciate it. Dirty Keto Grandma, Dirty Keto for life. Keep a clean mind. Keep your diet a little dirty, but try to cleanse your mind. Keep it fresh. Tomorrow's a new day.